Ever walked past an old abandoned house? Shivers down your spine? You're not alone. Millions report feeling uneasy near such places. Some even claim to see things. Why are we drawn to the darkness? What lurks within these forgotten walls? Is it just our imagination, or do these places hold echoes of past tragedies? Tonight we explore Holloway Mansion, a place steeped in chilling tales and unexplained phenomena. Get ready because we're about to step into a nightmare. Holloway Mansion, a name whispered in fear by locals, a Victorian behemoth looming over the town like a watchful gargoyle. Its once grand facade is now crumbling. Windows like vacant eyes stare out from the overgrown grounds. Legends abound, stories of a family massacred, whispers of a vengeful spirit forever trapped within its decaying walls. Tonight, we dare to uncover the truth.
My name is Jake. I've always been drawn to the unknown, the thrill of the chase. When I heard the stories about Holloway Mansion, I knew I had to see it for myself. The iron gates creaked open as if warning me back. The air grew heavy, thick with a strange energy. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. Ignoring the sense of dread, I stepped inside. The door slammed shut behind me. I was trapped. A child's laughter echoed from the floor above. A book flew off a shelf, crashing to the ground. This was no ordinary house. Dust hung heavy in the air, thick with the scent of decay. Cobwebs clung to me like ghostly fingers. Each step echoed through the silent house. A cold draft brushed past me, whispering my name. I spun around, but there was nothing there. Or was there? Up the grand staircase I ventured, each step heavier than the last. The air grew colder, the silence thicker. A faint light flickered at the end of the hallway. As I approached, I saw her. A woman in a white gown, her back to me. Her long, dark hair cascaded down her back. "Hello?" I called out, my voice trembling.
She turned and my blood ran cold. Her face was pale, her eyes hollow pits of despair. This was no living person.
The ghostly figure glided through the wall, its ethereal form barely disturbing the air around it. It moved with an eerie grace, as if it had done this countless times before, leading me deeper into the unknown, leading me to a small, dusty attic. The air was thick with the scent of age and neglect, cobwebs hanging like ghostly curtains from the wooden beams. Dust particles danced in the dim light, creating an almost magical, yet foreboding atmosphere. As I pushed open the creaking door, the sound echoed through the silence, amplifying the sense of isolation. The door resisted, as if it hadn't been opened in years, adding to the growing tension in my chest. The stench of decay hit me like a physical blow. It was overwhelming, a putrid mix of rot and mildew that made my stomach churn. I recoiled, covering my nose, but the smell seemed to cling to the very air around me. In the center of the room was a wooden chest, its lid slightly ajar. It seemed to beckon me, a silent invitation to uncover its secrets. With trembling hands, I lifted it open, the hinges creaking in protest. Inside lay a pile of bones, yellowed with age and brittle to the touch. They were arranged haphazardly, as if they had been tossed in without care. The sight sent a shiver down my spine, a grim reminder of mortality. A single silver locket nestled amongst them. The locket swung open, its delicate chain glinting in the dim light. It was an incongruous sight, a piece of beauty amidst the macabre, revealing a miniature portrait of the woman in white. Her eyes seemed to stare back at me, filled with a sorrow that transcended time. The portrait was exquisitely detailed, capturing her ethereal beauty and the sadness that seemed to envelop her. This was her final resting place. The room, with its eerie silence and the chest of bones, felt like a tomb. It was a place where time had stopped, where the past lingered like a ghost, refusing to let go. I realized that this discovery was not just gruesome, but a tragic tale of a life lost and forgotten. Suddenly, the air grew frigid, the temperature plummeted, and a bone-chilling wind slammed the attic door shut. I was trapped.
Help me.
The ghostly figure reappeared, her eyes burning into mine, her voice a mournful whisper. Her sorrow was palpable, suffocating, I had to get out, to escape the overwhelming despair that threatened to consume me. But the door wouldn't budge. Desperation surged through me. I had to understand. "Who are you?" I choked out, my voice barely a whisper.
My name is Eliza, and this house, it was once my prison.
She began to tell her story, a tale of betrayal, murder, and a love tragically cut short. Eliza's story unfolded, each word dripping with pain and anger. She had been through unimaginable torment, and now she was finally ready to share her harrowing tale. Her voice trembled as she recounted the events that led to her desperate escape. Her lover, the man she had trusted with her life, had betrayed her in the most heinous way possible. He had murdered her in cold blood, all for the sake of her inheritance. The old mansion, once a place of love and dreams, had become her tomb. He had hidden her body in the attic, thinking no one would ever find out. As her story reached its climax, the temperature in the room plummeted further. It was as if the very air around us was reacting to the horror of her tale. The cold seeped into our bones, making it hard to breathe. We could see our breath in the dim light, each exhale a reminder of the chilling reality Eliza had faced. The air crackled with energy, a palpable tension that made the hairs on the back of our necks stand on end. It was as if the room itself was alive, charged with the raw emotion of Eliza's story. The static electricity in the air was almost tangible, a physical manifestation of the anger and pain she had endured.
He buried me alive. The words echoed in the room, a haunting reminder of the cruelty she had suffered. The image of being buried alive, the dirt covering her face, was almost too much to bear. It was a fate worse than death, a living nightmare from which there was no escape. And now, he will pay. Her voice was filled with a fierce determination, a burning desire for revenge. The anger in her eyes was unmistakable, a fire that had been ignited by the betrayal and pain she had endured. She was no longer a victim, she was a force to be reckoned with.
The room began to shake, the walls closing in. It was as if the very fabric of reality was being torn apart by the intensity of her emotions. The vibrations grew stronger, threatening to bring the entire structure down around us. It was a terrifying reminder of the power of her story, a testament to the strength of her will. I knew I had to escape, but the door was still locked. Panic set in as I struggled with the lock, my hands trembling with fear. The darkness of the hallway seemed to close in around me, a suffocating presence that threatened to consume me. Every second felt like an eternity as I fought to free myself from the confines of the room. With a surge of adrenaline, I threw myself against the door again and again. Each impact sent shockwaves through my body, but I refused to give up. The desperation in my heart fueled my efforts, driving me to push harder, to fight with every ounce of strength I had left. The sound of my body slamming against the door echoed through the hallway, a testament to my determination. Finally, it burst open, sending me sprawling into the hallway. The sudden release of tension was overwhelming, and I lay there for a moment, gasping for breath. The darkness of the hallway seemed less oppressive now, a pathway to freedom rather than a prison. I knew I had to keep moving to escape the horrors that lay behind me. With renewed determination, I picked myself up and began to run, the sound of my footsteps echoing through the empty halls.
I didn't look back. The fear was too overwhelming, too consuming. Every creak of the floorboards beneath my feet echoed like a scream in the silence of the night. The shadows seemed to reach out, trying to pull me back into the darkness. I ran through the house, each step fueled by terror. My heart pounded in my chest, a relentless drumbeat that matched the frantic pace of my footsteps. The walls seemed to close in on me, the air thick with the weight of unseen eyes watching my every move. Stumbling out into the night, I felt a brief moment of relief. The open sky above me was a stark contrast to the suffocating darkness inside. But the fear didn't dissipate. It clung to me like a second skin, a constant reminder of the horrors I had just escaped. I gasped for air, the cold night air burning my lungs. Each breath was a struggle, a fight to regain control over my own body. The chill of the night seeped into my bones, but it was nothing compared to the icy grip of fear that still held me. Behind me, Holloway Mansion stood silent once more. I had escaped, but the silence was deceptive. It was the silence of a predator waiting for its next move, a calm before the storm. The mansion loomed in the darkness, a sinister presence that seemed to watch me even from afar. But Eliza's story, her pain, and her desperate plea for help remained etched into my mind. Her ghostly figure, her sorrowful eyes, they haunted me. I could still hear her voice, a whisper in the wind, begging for release from her eternal torment.
Some places, some stories, stay with you forever. They become a part of you, woven into the fabric of your very being. The memories, the emotions, they linger, refusing to fade with time. They are a constant reminder of the past, a shadow that follows you wherever you go. They haunt your waking hours and invade your dreams. No matter how far you run, no matter how much you try to forget, they are always there. In the quiet moments, in the dead of night, they come back to you, vivid and real, as if no time has passed at all. Holloway Mansion is one such place. Its dark history, its tragic tales, they are etched into its very walls. The air is thick with the weight of the past, the sorrow and pain of those who once lived there. It is a place that refuses to let go, a place that holds on to its secrets with a vice-like grip, and I fear I will never truly escape its grasp. The memories of that night, the terror I felt, they are a part of me now. No matter where I go, no matter how much time passes, Holloway Mansion will always be with me, a dark shadow on the edge of my consciousness, a reminder of the horrors that lie in wait in the darkness.